good morning, young lady. I'm going to go ahead and do this, to take some of the frustration level when it comes to mixing and mastering your podcast. We're not going to talk about mic technique, and we're not going to talk about background levels and things of this nature as far as when you get ready to record, but we're simply going to go and show how easy it is to mix and master in Reaper. And I'm going to use this podcast right here as an example. Now, I went up and just pulled it off of YouTube, but I can tell instantly that it's improper. This is called a waveform, W-A-V-E. Okay. It's a negative 10.1. It should be between a negative 16 and a negative 20. The LRA, which is the loudness range, is a 15.3. It should be no more than 4. And what this means that the softest part of this file to the loudest part of this file, there's a 15.3 dB difference, and that makes it very uncomfortable to listen to. Okay. Now, the highest reconstructed peak level is a 1.7 dBFS, and what that stands for is dB's full scale. This should be a -1. Now, because this is on the positive side of 0 dBs, this audio file has clipped 23,827 times. And that makes it, again, very uncomfortable to listen to. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and open up Reaper. And we're going to drag this file. It doesn't matter as long as it accepts it, the file format, which it does. We're simply going to drag it right up here and we're going to let it go. And what it's going to do is it's going to start to build the peaks. And those were the things we were looking at when I told you that we're very, very high. And you'll see them come through on this waveform. This software is absolutely simple to use once you learn how. Now, here we go. Okay, this is what I was talking about. You can see where it's at. Now, normally the first thing I would do is I would come up here to where it says extensions, and then I would hit the loudness, and there's my analyzer. I would left mouse click on this track, and then I would analyze selected tracks. Okay. Now, while it's doing that, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you that I can tell that this is the intro right here. This is music right here. This is their voice right here. Again, I'm assuming music, voice, and then music, 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 and then the outro. Now, anywhere I click on this audio file, it just doesn't matter. If I click right here, and actually I'm going to click right here because I want to show you how easy it is to use. I'm going to hit my up arrow on my keyboard and I'm going to zoom in. This will always stay within my viewing range. Okay. So now I know where my file is. So what I'm going to do is just simulate an intro, your podcast, and then an outro. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cursor here. Now I'm going to come right up to this little horseshoe. And what this does is these are called grid lines. All these little lines you see. So right now, if I want to go in between them, I can't because it's making me snap to that grid line. So I'm going to come up. I'm going to click that off. And now I can go anywhere I want to. See, now I can go right next to it. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in some more to make sure that's right where I want to be. So as an example, we're just going to go here. Now I'm going to hit my S key on the keyboard, and that's going to split this track. So I'm simply going to come over to this track now and drag it down, and it will automatically start another track right here. Okay. Now, if I double click on this, see, it brings it right up here. And then I can double click on this, and we're going to call this the podcast. And now I've just named that track. So now you can see it right here. Okay. Now, these numbers should look very familiar to you. Okay. It's a negative 10.2, just like we watched and we've seen on the meter. So we're going to, now that we know that our DAW, digital audio workstation, okay, is the same readings, very close to what the Orban meter says. So we know that what we're looking at is truly what we're looking at. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom back in, or I'm sorry, zoom back out using the down arrow on my keyboard, because I want to get closer now. I want to look and just see what everything is. Remember now, like I said, this is just real quick as an example. Now I can come here and I can drag this down and see, I can to see my waveform better. So now let's go ahead and call this our podcast, since we've named it podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the up arrow again. I want to zoom back in. Now I know right over here that this is a pause in the audio. I'm going to place my cursor there. I'm going to hit the S key again. And now I'm going to zoom back out. And it brings it right back to me. Now we're going to grab this and drag it down, because we want to make this now our outro. Okay, double click. Now you won't have to do this in your podcast. This is something I'm just showing you how easy it is to do. Because when I do these, and I do produce a lot of podcasts, and I also produce a lot of audiobooks through the ACX. Now we know here again, that this is all peaked out. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom back in. I want to come over here. I'm sorry, we're gonna zoom back out. And I think there's a little outro right here. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom back in. And we're just gonna go ahead and split it here and hit the S key. Okay. And we're going to drag it. Or I apologize, we're not going to drag it. We're going to highlight this. And now I'm going to go ahead and just hit the delete key, and it'll delete that for me. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom back out so I can see where everything's at. There we go. And I know I'm going to zoom back in a little bit that I need to come up. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I want this to line up right there. Okay. So now that I'm close, I'm going to zoom back in. Oh, sorry about that. Went a little bit too far. See, now I can manipulate the file better. See, now all I'm doing is taking my left mouse click and I'm holding it down, and I can move this anywhere I want to. And, that's what I want to do, is I just want to get it close. Now, there's nothing left, and this is what I would do, and I'm listening to this as I do it. Did you see the cursor change right there? Watch it change. See, now I can left mouse click, and I can do anything I want to with this file. Okay. Now, Reaper has what they call non-destructive. So I can actually take this and see if I make a mistake and I do my edit, it doesn't matter. I can simply just come right back up, grab it, and pull it out. It will not get rid of the end of that file or the part of that file until I actually get ready to render the file. And that's just a real fancy name for export. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and click the number 1 track. I'm going to zoom back out so I can now look at my file. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this part because that is a little bit big, and I want to make sure that this is an accurate demonstration for you. So I'm going to come back in. See the split right there? I'm going to go ahead and click here. I'm going to hit the S key. I'm going to highlight this, right mouse click, and I can delete it. There's several different things you can do, or different ways to do it. Myself, I just use the keyboard most of the time. So I'm going to pull this up, get it close. I'm going to keep going. Now, if you notice, there's nothing on track number 3. Okay, where it says outro, but that's all right. All we have to do is grab that file, pull it down. And I apologize, I'm getting ahead of myself. There was nothing on track number 2. So we're just going to move this up here. We're going to move this up to track number 3. We're going to click track 4, hit the delete button, and now it's gone. Okay, so now we have our 3 basic tracks. And I can manipulate all these if I want to see a little bit bigger waveform, but it's no big deal. So we know these numbers are accurate. So now what I'm going to do And you'll see a lot of podcasts, they do this. They'll have this a certain dB level, and then this is a certain dB level, and then this is, okay? And what happens is this. If this is your intro and it's at a lower volume, people will raise the volume as they're listening to your podcast. Now, if this is at a higher volume, when your podcast starts, now they've got to race back down and adjust the volume down. And it makes it very inconvenient, okay? Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and left mouse click. We've already analyzed it. We know what it is, and we're going to remove this. Now, we're going to come down here, or we can do it up here, and I'm going to highlight it, hold down the control key, and I'm going to highlight these other two tracks, okay? Now, we're going to come over and analyze selected tracks. Now, you're going to hear people talk about LUFS, and that stands for Loudness Unit Full Scale. And that's what we're referring to with the AES, which is the Audio Engineering Society, between a -16 and a -20 LUFS. So that's the range that we want. And we want our audio to be proper. Okay? So we can see here automatically that we have different levels. Now with Reaper, and it's a known, I can go in here and repair this. I just don't do it because I already know what it says. But this -15 is really a -18. And all you do is you just add 3 to this number, and I'll show you that in a second. It's no problem. Now this is our loudness range. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this within the 4 dB loudness range because it wasn't recorded properly. So we're going to left mouse click this, hold down the command key or the control key, and we're going to normalize. Now, as you can see, they already have it normalized to 23 LUFS up here. This is for the music industry. This is with the EBU, which stands for the European Broadcasting Union. Okay? Right now, they're a little miffy with us because they had a set standard, and just like us Americans normally do, we just don't care and we come in and create our own. Okay, but that's basically it in a nutshell. But we're going to go ahead and normalize this -16. Okay, I'm going to change this to a -15. And what this is going to do, it's going to automatically add 3 dBs to it because I want it to come out as a -18. Okay, I'd like to be in that center spot. Remember now we have a range from a -16 to a -18. So now I'm simply going to click normalize. Now, as it does this, we're going to go ahead and come up and I want to show you, you will hear people talk about their background noise or and that is totally different from your noise floor. What your noise floor is, everything electronic has background noise in it. Okay? It's just the way that it is. It's the nature of our universe. So when you come out of your outlet to power your computer or your digital recorder, it's bringing that noise floor with it. Now, your background noise is what you actually have going on in the background as you are recording. And, you really want it to be as quiet as you can get it, or that's going to affect your audio as well. Okay? So let's go ahead. Now we see everything now is at a -18 LUFS. Remember, we had 3. Our loudness range, remember when I told you there's not a whole lot I can do with this because I did not record this, and it just was not recorded in the proper way. Now you can see our true peaks. Okay, is a -0.4 on our podcast track, which is this one. A 3.9, which is on our outro, which is this one. And then we have a -2.8, which is in the intro up here. We want all of this to be a -1. Okay. So now that we've made it like this, what I'm going to do is simply show you a few more things. Now I've got my cursor here. We're going to zoom in on this. Now, we're going to grab us some audio. when you come up here, watch. Well, I apologize. I thought I was up high enough. Let me come down here and do it. Because you have to actually be off the track. But you see how I can open that window? And that's what I want. Now I'm going to come right here to this little button, and I'm going to make it turn blue. Now what happens is this. As I do this, this will not come out of this section. It will stay right there, and it will repeat, repeat, repeat. Okay? So now I'm going to come up a little bit, and this is how you apply FX. See, and track, insert, FX. So all of these are called plugins. These all come standard with Reaper. This is a $60 software used by some of the most professional recording, mixing, and mastering people. Okay? And there are many types of DAWs. Like I said, digital audio workstation. I just like using Reaper because it's easy to use. Okay? Now, you don't have to know what all these mean. With podcasting, you're going to use just a few. Okay? These are for people that are mixing 16 and 17 tracks from orchestras to rock and roll to classical music. Okay? So I'm going to come down to this is where I keep them, recently used, and we're going to grab this plugin right here. Okay? And what this is going to do, I've got it set on subtract. All of the rest of this stays the same. All we want to worry about is this little checkbox. Now, as I play the file now, it's going to tell me what my background noise is. Okay? And your background noise can be combined with your noise floor, and that will give you a total reading of what is in your audio file. Okay? So let's go ahead and see what that is. See it right there? Now, this is what you cannot do with Audacity. You cannot look at your audio file in real time. And Audacity is a great mixing software. A lot of people use it, but it is not a mastering software. And you're going to hear people in communities that say, it is, but I promise you, it is not. And Audacity even says that. If you go to their website, they classify it as a mixing software, which, you've got a bunch of songs you want to put together, slap it in an MP3 player or a CD, that's what it's great for. Okay. So now that we know what our noise floor is, we're going to check this box, and this is going to give us a profile. Now we're going to uncheck it. Now we're done. So now we can stop this. Okay. Now, at this point, this is my filter, and this is going to remove anything up to this level. It will take it right out of the audio. So let's go ahead and zoom back in, or zoom back out. I don't know why I always get those two confused, but I do. And we're going to play this, and we're going to watch what this meter shows us. But I want to trap it. So I want to take this. I want to come over here. And I want to do the same here. Okay? Because what happens is this. A lot of people will use Audacity, and they have a plugin that's called noise removal. But see, they can't see this. So if they set their noise removal higher than what the input signal is, it starts to muffle your audio. And you have no way of knowing this until you finish and go back to listen. It's very, very time consuming. Okay? So on subtract, we've already done our profile. We've unchecked this box, and now let's watch it. And what you're going to see is I'm going to be turning it off and on right here. And I can do the same thing right up here. Okay? But I'm just going to do it here. So let's go ahead and play that with it off. And let's see what this input signal is in relationship to what this is. Oh, I apologize. I need to have it on. I apologize. See the signal? So I know that if I do this, it's going to muffle that audio. And look where it's peaking right now. You see? And here again, I'm just using this as an example. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. We're going to stop this. I can close this out. And here again, I want to reiterate, you must understand the proper way to record your audio in order to make it sound proper. If you record in the proper level, all of this now becomes a breeze. Okay? Now, at this point, I would come down and render the file. And when I do this, I'm going to have it come and put it right back on 3 more tracks. Okay, this is going to take a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll come back and then we'll do that. And I'll show you how it is and then how we finish our audio by getting it to become a 1 peak. We want that -1 peak. Okay, -1 total peak. And that way our file will fall within the parameters. And at that point, we simply upload it. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, and now we're back. Now here's our file. Okay, this is what we just put our limiter on. So now what we're going to do is highlight it. We want to double check. We're going to hit Analyze Selected Track. Now, as we do this, I want to show you a couple things. Now look at your waveform. Remember before how it, one was smaller, one was higher, one was lower? And you can actually come up with a Reaper and you can adjust the volume right here. See, it'll tell you how many dBs that you're moving it. Okay, but we know that it's right, so we just leave it right up there. And now here we are. We're at a -17.3 LUFS. We are well within our range by the AES. Our true peak is a -1.4, which is now in the range of the AES. And if you remember, I told you there was nothing I can do about the loudness range because the file was recorded improperly. Okay? So that's it. It is real simple to use this software.
Chocolate fudge and